Hello everybody and welcome to the final part of my F1 22 My Team Career Mode journey. And yes, we do have a few races to go, but with the release of F1 23 imminent, I wanted to give you guys this final highlights package of all the last few races. And by the end of this video, we will know if I win the Drivers' Championship and secure the Constructors' Championship as well. I am going after both, so do stick around and watch till the end because I promise you it's going to be worth it. We come here with 7 points advantage, and in qualifying, the good news is we've stuck it on the front row, and the only driver ahead of us is our teammate George Russell. I'm hoping that George will play the team game a little bit here, but second, still ahead of our rivals. Leclerc qualifies 4th, so he's a whole row behind us. So the first race then of this video, Austin is go. We get a relatively good launch. Russell seems to get a little bit of wheel spin on the line. He goes across to cover. It's Leclerc that's super fast away, trying to go around the outside. No way through there. Russell also going very deep into turn 1. And I'm having to make sure I avoid careering into him. But so far, so good for our team. We've got a 1-2. Russell's ahead. Leclerc is in second. And no, Russell's ahead. We're in second. Leclerc's in third. And I was thinking Magnussen might have a look. But straight away at the second lap, we've got an Alfa Romeo, I believe is Daruvala, careering into Drogovic. And that is the Alfa Romeo instantly removed. We had a virtual safety car for that, and then straight after that on lap 3, we have Gasly just smashing straight into his teammate, which brought out another virtual safety car. 3 laps in, we've had 2 virtual safety cars, and Russell has got away better off the virtual safety cars than we have, and as a result has 2 seconds in hand to us having 7/10 on Leclerc. But as the race goes on, we're able to start pulling back the gap towards Russell and starting to bring ourselves towards him. And a few laps later on is when we can start setting up for the overtake. Here we are now. We're right in Russell's slipstream. Leclerc's 2.5 odd seconds behind. We turn on overtake. We open up our DRS. We go to the left. Russell goes to cover. We're now going to go back onto the racing line. We brake. Russell brakes a bit later, but I'm going to have a better exit round there after how tight Russell went into the corner. And that it should be the place as we now have the inside. Russell fighting me a bit more than I'm happy with, but we're able to take the position. Drogovic also later on dropped out of the race. And from that moment on, we weren't really challenged. Leclerc moved up into second. Russell dropped to 4th due to a car issue. But we take the win here in Austin. And Leclerc, although he was pretty much there, you know, he was keeping us honest. If we did make a mistake or lose it, he would have taken the win from us.
Who do you pick?
We were still just far enough ahead that we didn't have to over-push the car to bring it home. And we take the fastest lap as well. So Leclerc keeping us honest all race in second and Magnussen third. Russell taking P4 in the end and Lando Norris rounding out the 5. Which means for this race we extend the championship gap to 15 points. Magnussen is well and truly out of contention now, 86 points behind, and Lando Norris is eyeing that 3rd place in the championship. So, a good start for us in Austin. Next we move to Mexico. The qualifying wasn't quite as strong there, P7 and a lot of work to do. But Leclerc was P4, so he wasn't entirely at the front himself either. And as we get away from the grid, it is a good start, but I'm having to make sure I don't get swamped. Charles Leclerc is taking a massive dive down the inside of turn 1. Look at him going 4 abreast. And in the end, we managed to find space to try and move up the order. But then there's no way to go, and we go straight across the chicane. And we have to give a couple of those places back. There is a safety car because I think someone hit me quite hard and there was debris all over the track that needed to be cleared. I've got a bit of damage that I'm now nursing, but the race is underway again, and first things first, we need to get past Magnussen in the McLaren. We are getting past Magnussen in the McLaren. It is 2 McLarens, 2 Joe H2O cars and 2 Ferraris then in front. Leclerc trying to get down the inside though. before the championship position, but Lando Norris not playing the team game here, not willing to let him go easy. I'm watching these two in front of me and I'm trying to think of how I can get past George. This is all out action all the way here. Leclerc trying to pass Norris. I'm trying to pass Russell. The two teammates in the championship contenders not sure what to do. George, I get past. Norris backs out and Leclerc goes into the lead. So now it is Norris's job to try and hold me back. But it's not going to be easy as I try and go to the outside on lap 5. But Norris parking his car in all the right places and just not making it easy for me to get through at all. Forcing me to take avoiding action there as I thought I could find a little bit of space alongside him. But that doesn't happen. And Russell now passing me back. Excuse me, George. Nearly passing me back and nearly costing me a front wing. George, I'm in a title fight here. He's still not letting me go easy as he takes the inside line. And Russell's not making this championship fight easy. He's decided that in the last few races, he is out for himself here. He is not out to play the team game. But as we now come on to lap 7 of this race that has had a lot of action already, I'm getting closer and closer to Russell. And to be honest, I think we should be able to just try and sweep round the outside here. And then we have the inside for the next corner. It does leave us going in tight and slow. Maybe leaving us vulnerable on the straight, but George not able to make anything of that. And now we've caught the two Ferraris. First things first, can we get past Lando Norris? How long is that going to take? Trying to find a way past Norris there. We're going to go to the outside and we're going to take the long way round before taking the inside for the next corner. That's a favourite move of mine on this game. It's one that I've honed in quite well on F1 22. I'm quite looking forward to seeing what moves I can hone in on F1 23. Right, although we've got past Norris, Norris is still coming back at me. He might have a little look up the inside. He has had a look up the inside. He's hit me quite hard. And Norris retaking the position after smacking me in the back. I've gone round the outside. I'm not sure whether that was on or off the track, so I do let Lando pass for the straight, but I'm going to keep my car up the inside for the next corner where I just simply outbrake him. I'm not sure what Norris was playing at there, but he completely hit me up the back. And after me and Leclerc pit, I've gone onto the medium tyres after starting on softs. Leclerc's on hards. So I'm afraid Charles Leclerc is going to be a little bit of a sitting duck here, which is great news for us, not so good news for Leclerc, as we go to the outside and we're passed before the straight even completes. Leclerc keeping his car up the inside, though I allow him the space, but we have made it through on lap 20. And we now go on to pull away here. But, wow, we had to fight some for that one. At the end of the race, we did pull out 10 seconds on Leclerc. Russell giving him some grief, but not enough in the end to bother us as we take a second win and a step closer towards the world crown. Your driver of the day? It's definitely looking good for us so far, isn't it? As we won that race and another fastest lap to boot. Leclerc second, Russell third, so some great team points as well. And then Magnussen and Norris rounding out the top 5. Tickton rounding out the top 6. And the final point scorer was Sergio Perez in his home race, which means our championship gap now goes up to 23 points. And it's pretty much we pretty much have at this stage one hand on that trophy. But now we move on to the Portuguese Grand Prix, a race which was completely filled with disaster for us. I lost my front wing at the start in the first few laps. Tried to make hards go a long way. That did not work, so I had to pit in again near the end. And the pace just wasn't there after I lost my front wing. And we end up finishing in P18. A day to forget. And I believe Lando Norris takes the win, but crucially, Leclerc was second. So, Leclerc not gaining as many points as he could have here, and has Lando Norris just sabotaged Leclerc's best chance to pull back some points on us for the championship. That is very interesting right there. Leclerc second, unable to get past his Ferrari teammate, and I just wonder what is that going to cost Leclerc. Lando Norris winning, Leclerc second, Alex Albon in the Alpine doing an incredible job getting them onto the podium, and then Perez and Verstappen rounding out the top 5. An improved showing for Red Bull after what was quite a lackluster weekend in Mexico. And what does this do for the championship? Well, it means that Leclerc closes the gap. We now go to Brazil, and here we are for the sprint race. It's lights out and away we go. We qualified on pole, owing to the fact that for the final couple of race weekends, I'm taking on brand new components for the lot. It'll mean that for the race I take a back of the grid penalty, but round here, overtaking is possible, so we should be able to salvage a decent result nonetheless. But so far in the sprint, I'm leading the way. George Russell second, Norris third, then it's Ticktum and Sainz having a battle for 4th and 5th. No idea where Charles Leclerc is, so that's good for us. We're gaining points. But what isn't so good for us is that Russell is fighting me again. Here we go then, down the second straight as we go out turn 3. George Russell blasting everything on. He's attacking me. George Russell has decided to throw his middle finger up to playing the team game, and he's fighting me and he's taking the lead. George Russell leads this sprint race. I'm in second, and I'm just thinking to myself, excuse me, I'm going for a championship here, and I'm taking that straight back. But a lap later, George is having a look again, going round the outside. I'm having to fight him off. I've gone deep doing so, and I've got a warning for a collision, which I'm not sure I did. I then make a little bit of a mistake there, because I'm getting quite rattled at how much Russell is fighting me, considering I'm fighting for a championship. He's down the inside. I'm unable to fight him off. I've gone a little bit wide there. I'm still trying to retake him going around the outside here. But George taking that P1. I am thinking I'm going to take the lead back here, but I've now gone deep. And Lando Norris might have a look, so I've had to regroup and settle for P2. But I was not happy here. And in fact, I'm about to make my feelings to George abundantly clear with this very half-hearted dive, which I took damage on. But that was my frustration really showing through there. I needed to grab as many points from this sprint as I could, owing to the fact that I had a back of the grid penalty, and Russell just ignoring the fact that I'm the one in the championship hunt and going out for himself, because middle finger up to me, that's why. But it's still P2, and it's still some crucial points gained on Leclerc. I don't know quite where he finished the sprint race, but I'm sure we're about to find out. And in fact, he finished in P6, so he gets 3 points. We take 7, but I would have much rather take the 8. But George Russell clearly had other ideas for that. But it's still points gained on Leclerc. Norris finished 3rd in that, Ticktum 4th, and then it's Sainz rounding out the top 5. And now we head in to the main event of the Brazilian Grand Prix. We will be at the back of the grid, obviously, due to taking all the new components, but I still believe that a good result is possible here. It's lights out and away we go, and we straight away look to see how many positions we can gain up the inside. Only 2 as it turns out, and Zhou nearly sending me spinning round himself. As look at that, look at Latifi being quite forceful there. One of the Alpines trying to force me while the other Alpine is there, so after the podium finish of Portugal, it's a bit of a reality check for Alpine, as both of them are now in the back 2 positions, and that just shows you how fast the world of Formula 1 changes, doesn't it? But we start making good gains, and by lap 2, we're already up to Jehan Daruvala in 14th, and Lewis Hamilton in 15th. Improved showings from Alfa Romeo towards the end of the season. But here goes Lewis to the outside of Daruvala. I'm going to try and dive down the inside of a pair of them. Daruvala turning into me, not anticipating me coming. But you know what? I take the pair of them, and onwards I go. By lap 36, I had moved up to P6, so I hadn't quite made the gains that I would have hoped to have gained because the pace around here was so equal. It was very hard to gain those extra tenths, but I was able to claw up to the battle for fourth, and this last lap move for fifth, I'm really quite proud of because I came so far back. That was a Ricciardo-esque dive bomb, and Sainz diving out the way. It was a win for Leclerc, but it's P5 for us, and crucial points, and Sainz is having a look, but I'm covering him off. We can't afford to lose too many more points now, and we do manage to grab P5. So after the disaster class of Portugal and a damage limitation round here, it means that Charles Leclerc is 7 points ahead, heading into the very final race of this career mode. I'm still not happy with Russell. I feel like he very much robbed us of a point there, and that point could have been crucial. But look, Leclerc's gap could have been all the more if Lando Norris had let him win Portugal. So our teammates are not playing the team game. They're fighting their own battle and paying absolutely no interest to what's going on in the championship fight. But here we go then, into the final round of Abu Dhabi. I'm P3 on the grid, Russell ahead, Leclerc is second. I need to win and take fastest lap to win the championship. So that's the plan. Win and grab fastest lap. Russell leading the way into turn one. I'm trying to go to the outside of Leclerc there, but if I go any more outside, I'm running off the circuit. So now we're heading round that sweeping right-hander. I'm nearly off the track. Max Verstappen's having a look at P3, but he's not going to take it. I'm going to run out deep and get the better exit. Verstappen with no choice there but to back out. And we're now getting towards the end of the straight, and I'm going to do my favourite overtake on Leclerc, where I swing round, and yeah, I cut him off. And that, if anything, that's now going to leave him vulnerable to Verstappen. That has left him vulnerable to Verstappen, because I think Verstappen is now fighting Leclerc, and yeah, Verstappen fighting him now, and that gets him off our back. And does Verstappen take P3? Yes, he does. So that's critical for us. But what's even more critical now is that we're about to blast past George Russell for the lead of the race, and he's just let me go. He is having a little look up the inside, but Russell pretty much letting me go here. And Verstappen and Leclerc start racing each other pretty much constantly all the way through, while I just disappear into the distance. The best Leclerc could do was P4, which means we take the Drivers' World Championship.
Yes, we've done it. You are the world champion. Oh, what a win, what a season. We are going to celebrate hard tonight, my friends. Bring the car home. Nice one.
It's certainly been an incredible year for Formula One, and our drivers have pushed themselves this season, making it one of the most compelling years of racing in history. There can only be one champion, however, and here they are now, our new Formula One World Drivers' Champion. They've done it then. Victory in the last race of the season, and the championship as well. What a phenomenal end to a terrific Formula One season. Anthony Davidson, how do you think they were able to set themselves apart today?
I think a large part of the result comes down to temperament. They were able to keep their heads when everyone around them was losing theirs, and that's allowed them to get the best out of the car, to maximise the strategy, and to stay out of trouble.
The faces on our top three look so incredibly happy as they make their way up to the podium. A much-deserved victory and a brilliant performance from them all.
Well, that's it. We are world champions. Doing just about enough in that final race. Leclerc dropping to P4 in the end. But wow, we pulled out over 20 seconds, but I do think half of that was down to the fact that Russell, Verstappen and Leclerc, they were exchanging positions literally every lap. So that was holding them up and we were just out front doing our own race. But there you go, the win and the fastest lap for us quite comfortably actually. We set a 24.3. Verstappen's fastest lap of 25.6. So no one could really touch our pace in that race. Leclerc finishing 4th and Perez rounding out the 5. Norris getting 6th. Hamilton, Tittum, Sainz and Latifi were your final point scorers for that final race, but we did it. We are champions, and like I said, I owe it to the fact that those three did not stop racing each other. So here's your final points positions then. I win by 7 points, meaning that that win in Portimao that Leclerc could have been given by his teammate, was that the thing that stopped Leclerc being champion? I can't remember the wins on countback, but that's going to be sore. So Norris was 3rd in the end, followed by Magnussen and Verstappen. Sainz, Russell, Tittum, Albon and Hamilton round out the top 10. Then it's Perez and Piastri. Gasly, Latifi with that one race win. Tsunoda, Zhou, Daruvala, Ocon, Mick Schumacher. And the only drivers not to score this season were Lance Stroll, Felipe Drugovich and Robert Schwartzman. So that's rotten luck for them. Wow, that was quite the journey on F1 22 career mode. We were not, sadly, able to take the Constructors' win. But it happens. Ferrari are your Constructors' champion for the final season of this career mode. Guys, that was my F1 22 career mode journey. It did feel quite brief for only 3 seasons. I do apologise for that. Obviously, there was a huge gap between Season 1 and 2. However, with F1 23, hopefully I can do up to 4 seasons, maybe more. But until then, thank you for watching. Like and subscribe for F1 23 content. TTFN, ta-ta for now.